Hello, good evening. We're live. The World Darts Championship 2022 is upon us. Starts on December the 15th, finishes on January the 3rd. So, as usual, the darting world will start off the sporting year by crowning their world champion on just the third day of the year. The draw's in. The draw was on Monday night, the 29th. 96 players are in the draw. 64 of the unranked players take part in the first round, and then the 32 seeds await them in the second round. And there's your 96 players. Me and Pieman will be doing lots of content for the World Championships, of course, over the next few days and weeks. As the channel is nearly a year old to the day, we started with the Worlds last year in lockdown, both bored. And yeah, we had a good time at it, and hopefully some of those that watched last year are still with us. So I'm going to try and show the draw. We kind of knew the 32 seeded players. There wasn't a lot changed as a result of the Players' Championships finals over the weekend. Split into four sections as usual. I'm going to try and show you the draw as we go on. Hopefully that technology will work. So in the first quarter is the number one seed Gerwyn Price, joined by so it's the top seed number one Price, the bottom seed Kim Huybrechts 32. And so on. And then the big talking point of this section is that the world number one Gerwyn Price is in with the world number 8 Johnny Clayton. Now you may ask, how is Johnny Clayton the world number 8? This year he's won the Masters, the Premier League, and the World Grand Prix. Well, Johnny Clayton is number 8 seed, and he's been a bit of a strange one all year because the Premier League and the Masters are unranked events. So that's why he's a lowly number 8, even though he is third favourite on in the betting. I think this is a tough draw for Price, to be honest. It could have been easier for him, but it's just the way that the cookie crumbles for him. We've seen Michael Smith in the lower part of this draw hit a bit of form recently, had a decent enough run in the Grand Slam where he was beaten the semi-final there by Snakebite. Um, Price got he was the runaway winner of the Grand Slam in the end. A bit off it at the Players Championships finals was Price. Never really got. He was always chasing Brendan Dolan, a resurgent Brendan Dolan. But yeah, Kim Huybrechts is there. The other talking point in this section is that Fallon Sherrock takes on Steve Beaton, the legendary bronzed Adonis. The one player that Steve was on record as saying he didn't want to face in Fallon, he is going to face. The crowd will be going ballistic there, of course, and I thought she was absolutely superb in the Grand Slam. Fallon, Stephen Bunting, a semi-finalist in the World Championships this year, could face Gerwyn Price a bit further down the line, but that quarter-final on rankings and betting alone would suggest that Price and Clayton in the semi-final. Michael Smith will have something to say about that in the bottom half of that section. But yeah, a really not straightforward for Gerwyn Price. There is certainly number one seeds at the Worlds in years gone by have had easier runs on paper than what Gerwyn Price is going to have. He is the 4-1 favourite as we speak. In the second section, so still the top half of the draw, but the second section, James Wade is the highest seed in here, number 4. As you can see, we've got Joe Cullen in there as well. Vincent van der Voort had a good run at the Players' Championship final. Simon Whitlock's been bang out of form. Dimitri van den Berg missed the Grand Slam with COVID, returned at the Players' Championship finals, and just looked to be getting his eye in as far as I could see. So obviously a threat there, the fifth seed. Christoph Ratajski has really, for the first time in a very long time with Christoph, something that you wouldn't normally find Pieman or myself saying, out of form. The Grand Slam had a bit of a meltdown. Similar in the Players' Championships, he's on the very most recent form. Christoph Ratajski has been out of form, but away from that, away from the last say 3 weeks. For the other 11 months of this year, he has been very, very solid, as we have come to expect. Mervyn King, similar comments could apply to him. In the last couple of tournaments, we've seen him on TV, not at his best, but we know that his best is pretty good, even at the tender age of whatever he is now, 50 odd. So the winner of this quarter, if you like, or this section that you can see on your screen, will play the winner of the top section, which has got the likes of Price and Clayton in, as we've already mentioned. Swiftly onto the third section. This is where the number 2 seed, Peter Wright, comes in. Ryan Searle, also in there, the number 15 seed, another whose ranking is kind of yet to catch up with his form, if you like, made the finals of the Players Championship finals just this week gone by, and where he was actually beat 11-10 by Peter Wright in a pretty sensational game, to be fair. So yeah, Ryan Searle really starting to make his mark. Hasn't got masses of experience at the World Championship, and I think that is something that is key. Something obviously which Peter Wright has got, a winner of this tournament previously himself. I mean, Peter Wright, the last couple of tournaments, the Grand Slam, I thought he was going into that. I thought he was off form and wouldn't have backed him with anyone's money, I think is what I said in our Grand Slam preview. Well, lo and behold, he went and made the final, and then he's won the Players Championship finals this week just gone. So he's got the perfect warm up for the World Championships, Peter Wright, and he is confident as ever that he can lift another world title. A bit further down in this section, Jose de Souza hasn't particularly ripped up any trees this year. 2020 was his breakthrough year, if you like. I think he's potentially vulnerable, and there's a man in that section that I really do like at this stage, and that is Nathan Aspinall. He is 40-1 to win the World Championships. I think there's a lot of boxers that can be ticked for Nathan. He has a couple of good runs in the World Championships to his name already. I think he was a semi-finalist. He may possibly be a back-to-back semi-finalist, Nathan Aspinall, at the World Championship. That is key experience. Finished the season on the tour in cracking form. How he didn't manage to win one of those Players Championship floor events towards the end of the season, I do not know. But he's been in good form. He carried that into he missed a Grand Slam for amazingly didn't qualify. We've spoke about that at length on this channel, the qualification for that tournament. And then Aspinall came up against a resurgent Rob Cross at the Players Championship finals just gone, where he was edged out 6-4 in a very good game with Rob Cross. So I think Aspinall's got a lot going for him in this tournament. Brendan Dolan, resurgent as well, as I've mentioned, a semi-finalist in the recent tournament we've just seen on TV. Sorry about that. So Brendan Dolan will fancy his chances in that part of the draw. Callum Ridds, a man who Pieman is very, very fond of and has had a very solid year on the floor and hasn't quite shown it on TV yet. But I think Aspinall would be the favourite against Dolan. Or Ridds, he'll be favourite against Mensah. I would have him favourite against Jose. And then it's down to hopefully he makes the quarter-final where Peter Wright, as we know, if he turns up, he can beat anyone, but Aspinall will fancy his chances there as well. So I really do quite like Aspinall's prospects at 40-1. Will be an official tip when I get together with Pieman or Rozzy or others to do our proper preview. This is just a taster with the news yesterday of the draw. Into the final section, the bottom section, section 4, Michael van Gerwen, the headline acting here, the number 3 seed, is 5-1-ish, second favourite. We pretty much deja vu of what we said last year. Last year, for the 2021 World Championships, Michael van Gerwen was the biggest prize he'd been for this tournament for approximately 6 or 7 years by my estimations. Well, he will be that feat will be beaten again because he's an even bigger price this year, Michael van Gerwen. He isn't even favourite. You have to go back to the days of when Phil Taylor was still around, whereby Michael van Gerwen was not the betting favourite to win the World Championships. As I've said many a time recently about Van Gerwen, I think he's been in decent form, both on the floor and on the TV. Started his return to form, if you like, in the Nordic Masters. I think that was August time, and then he's been on decent runs in the Grand Slam. I think he was a semi-finalist there as well, and the European Championship winner, if I'm not mistaken. So, he's in form. It's the same old story that I say about Van Gerwen. His peak isn't quite as high as what it used to be, maybe 4 years ago, and the others around him have increased their peak. The likes of Gerwyn Price, Peter Wright, Johnny Clayton, they all believe and have the game and have proven that they can beat Michael van Gerwen on their day. But don't get me wrong, Van Gerwen is still a very much a big beast to be dealing with in this tournament. Chris Dobie's in there as well. Dave Chisholm, I think, is out of form personally. Luke Humphries, a UK Open finalist earlier this year. He'll be looking for a breakthrough, and that has gone well here. Gary Anderson in a potential second round draw with Adrian Lewis. I mean, we saw Adrian Lewis causing plenty of trouble as usual, which I fully support, against Peter Wright in the Players Championship finals just gone. That would be a mouth-watering clash, Gary Anderson and Adrian Lewis in the second round, potentially, if Lewis can get past the Canadian Matt Campbell. Rob Cross is in this section as well. He's been in great form recently. He really has. I mistakenly earlier said that Van Gerwen won the European Championships. I was mistaken. Rob Cross was the European Championship winner a couple of months ago, and he continues to be in good form. He went well in the Grand Slam, coming up just short. He went pretty well in the Players Championships as well, where he got beat by Daryl Gurney, I think, in the end. Or was it Searle? Cross got beat by Searle again in a good game, where Cross actually averaged more than Searle in that tournament. So Cross will fancy his chances. Potentially Barney in the second round will be one for the fans. And Daryl Gurney showed fantastic form in the Players' Championship finals just gone, a semi-finalist. A third round defeat a quarter-final defeat by Ryan Searle in a cracker. 10-9, went to a deciding leg. Gurney just losing out 10-9 to the eventual finalist Searle. Daryl Gurney hitting form just at the right time. You'll certainly fancy you can get the better of Ricky Evans or Nitin Kumar potentially in the second round, and then Cross maybe a weight. So all very exciting stuff. I think that Price has, like I say, I think Price has got a tough draw. I wouldn't put anyone off back in the likes of Dimitri Vandenberg. I think the second section, as you can see on your screen there, I think that's probably the weakest section of the draw. Wade is in good form, undoubtedly, but sometimes can throw in a stinker. I think Dimitri will fancy himself against Devon Peterson, who's been sliding down the rankings this year. Christoph, we've mentioned, is out of form. Mervyn King, of late, out of form. Hopefully, those two can turn it around and show their best at the Worlds. But Dimitri would be interesting in that second section. But like I say, my big fancy at this time at 40-1, Nathan Aspinall. I think he will fancy a place in the quarterfinals, and if he can win there, you never know what may happen. So yeah, just a quick update from me. Only 5 or 10 minutes there, and like I say, we'll have Pieman on very soon, potentially Ozzie Smith as well. I've got people knocking on my door asking to come on as guests. The channel is absolutely booming, so we'll have hopefully have some stats, bets, plenty of previews, plenty of reaction. Thanks for tuning in, and leave a comment below. Tell us what you want us to talk about away from the obvious for the Darts World Championships, what you want to see, what you don't want to see, and we will try our very best to deliver. So speak soon. Thank you.